Yes, good morning, community. Good morning to everyone, to all my friends and family. And good morning to all of the artists that are getting ready and gearing up to, to go out and do what we do. We're artists, and we keep the fire of love and happiness burning in this city. And unfortunately, people like us, whom because some of these people who have been here for much longer and have connections with the mayor, they have connections with Creative BC, they have connections with Vancouver Arts Council. They just feel like they can do whatever they want, use people however they want, and then when you ask for your money, they they start threatening you. So this is a threat message I received, the harassment message I received from Mama Kumbi yesterday. Rather than seek out. This is after I'd already told her. I said the project management section of the invoice, you can ignore it. I said because there's really I could say it's my fault. I was gullible. I was led astray by these people, and I think it's pretty well organized. I'm going to share some information here to prove that. So I'm now scrambling to defend myself because she's turned the table around, and now she's telling everyone that she paid me heaps of money, and I didn't. And so I'm actually not feeling very well, but this is causing me a lot of problems, and I'm actually really sick right now. My chest is hurting, but I can't just sit here and watch this woman destroy the effort and the love that we give this community year in year out. Here she's saying she sent me 2,700. I have all the information. I have all the receipts and the invoices, and then she's claiming she paid a friend of mine $600, which is absolutely false. We rented generators, and we had to put down deposit of almost 400 and something dollars, and we rented a controller because my controller was broken at the time. My friend then donated her laptop, which we used for the event. You will see on the event pictures that the laptop I'm using there was not even mine. And all of this, these people need money, right? All of these things was done with money. So she put down the money on her credit card. And then I wrote to Mama Komi and said, look, we're getting all these things, please send us some money so I can pay her back. And that's what she did. She sent money and we paid her back. So, coming out here to, calculate and add up all of the stuff that was done for this organization that, I don't know whether to call this an organization or not. And I'm going to share some information now to show you, the way these people work. They don't keep records, they don't keep anything. And then they're coming to meetings and, you discuss something and then people go off and they have little meetings. They will give me an assignment to do. And then they'll go back and counter it and talk all kinds of stuff behind me. And then they come and surprise me at the meetings. So I'm out here dealing with my family, dealing with my girls, trying to, add their meetings into my agenda, my already full agenda. And they're over there sitting on their backsides, telling me, egging me on, do this, get the musicians, do that, pay them this, pay them that. This is not what a volunteer does. If I was just volunteering, if there was no hope to get any payment inside, they would have, anybody would have quit. And that's what most people did. On this group, this Nyege Nyege group, there is a Nyege Nyege group, which I am going to share with you right now. This is the place where we did all of our meetings. Just wait a second. There it is. So this is how they work. This is Mama Harambe first is Mama Kombi. Okay, this is a situation where I was given an assignment. This is happening July. This is 2024. So this is happening in the month of July. So that's July 23rd. So this is the fundraiser that I did for them, and I put in almost another 120 hours, and they messed it up. They would have little meetings in between. Have a look at this. Just listen to this. I rest my case, and then I'm gonna. This is one I'm going to be posting online. But rather than resolve this issue amicably, she is throwing out threats now, appearing to be the victim, and whatever. Just you listen and you be the judge.
Hello, my sisters and my brothers. So, I just wish that we could clear this confusion, amicably, because if anyone believes that I am saying something that they didn't say, or there's a misunderstanding, I apologize. But that was the impression I got, because when I hired and when I was negotiating with the band, I had a conversation with you.
So this band that we're talking about is Mivule, and the Mivule's manager knows all about this. So I know all of you, you know Mivule, you know Brian. Please call the manager and ask him what happened, the debacle that happened when I tried to book them. Just keep listening.
Sister Vio, you called me, and then we had a chat. And during that chat, I was actually very surprised. Yes, you were absolutely right, because when we discussed bringing a band, there was no gospel situation mentioned, right? So I was not aware. All I knew was that I was asked to bring to identify bands that were going to perform. And I could also remember, if you looked up this chart, you're probably going to see you agreeing and saying that you liked both the bands. And I was asking if I could bring both the bands, and we were all happy that we found the band at the time.
All right, here
So,
I'll show you what I mean by that. So I tried to get this band Mivule, and I was discussing everything with them while I was doing it. They called meetings and we talked about it. And then in the end, everybody agreed. People said, bring them. We like the bands. I was also talking to Serengeti and Shade Awele last year as well. These are like, the information that maybe. So if we go all the way up here, this is where I'm telling them that about Serengeti. So this is when I spoke to Mivule. So Mivule has confirmed they accepted $600. Here is the confirmation message. Okay, this is the message that I got from Mivule when I tried to book them. Said, okay, awesome. We've confirmed for 28. The details that Damon passed on was $600 for a 30-minute set, and we need to bring all instruments and whatever. Let me know when you can, when you have time. Like me and the manager, we're talking about it. So I am actively recruiting musicians for these people. This is for a fundraiser that would be leading to the fundraiser for the 3-day festival, which they also made me do without, and now they're telling me they're not going to pay me. So here you go. And this is Mama Kombi agreeing. He says, this is very good. We need a small group of performers and artists. So this is me sourcing out information and trying to get all of the artists and stuff. Here and when I was negotiating with Mivula, I was like, because the band members asked if they could bring their families, so I was sharing everything as I was going. Look, this is Vuyo, who is also a member of the Nyege Nyege group, which is Harambe Kuva and the Great Lakes Society BC. Here, this is what she's saying about the bands. Is that I kind of like the second one. So there was some sort of negotiation happening between me and these people. So I kind of like the second band. One, I don't know with other, we had a lot of negotiations about the band name, about what we're gonna do about this festival. So anyway, let's keep listening to when everything, just the same scenario. We would talk about. They will ask me, go get this. I'll go out and get it, and then they come back. They criticize it. They tell me, oh, this is not what we said. Whereas we have records here. We we have records of what was happening, and this is where Mama Kumbi and Charles and Dr. Charles and Nuvia was basically telling her, look, maybe we're way in over our heads. Maybe we don't have enough funding that we should cancel. Mama Kumbi was saying that that it is okay. You missed out on some meetings, because there I was trying to figure out, which gospel groups were coming. This is for the fundraiser, which led to the festival. And I have more of these kinds of information about the festival itself. Okay, let's just continue listening to this.
That's why I went ahead to start the negotiation. You remember telling me 700. I hope that we aligned with that. And then the next thing was that, instead of the 700, I tried to negotiate for 600, which was the report I gave back to the board. So that's how that happened. So I'm not saying that someone said something that is untrue, and I'm just expressing how I understood the situation. And if I would never call anybody a liar, especially my senior sisters here. That is not who I am. So if there is a misunderstanding, I apologize, just to keep things moving. But the main reason for a misunderstanding was that the information was not clear about what is needed. So if you ask me to find a band, you have to give me full requirements. You have to say how long they're going to play. That was not also discussed. Nothing was discussed. Nothing was, the requirements for getting the band was not discussed. And because there's no notes taken, all of this is happening via the phone. So for us.
So basically, they would have meetings, and people would just, Mama Kumbi would call me and say, "Hey, okay, just get the information, get this, get that." We've had meetings, we've agreed that that a band would be gotten for like $600, and she would call Nouveau, and maybe they would have another meeting. They would disagree, and then something else is going on in parallel, and I don't even know. I'm out there sourcing out bands, making arrangements with bands. Mivule's manager will confirm this because we had already said that we were going to book them, and then at the last minute they canceled them. So and I told them, and that was what I got really upset, because I was like, I'm out there putting out my name to all of these musicians, and then I come back in here and you guys are canceling it. Just read on. And they didn't keep notes, which means they sort of knew that this situation that we are in right now is going to happen. And when you notice that Nouveau has not said anything, hasn't mentioned anything. Dr. Charles, who was there as well, hasn't mentioned anything online. They just sat there, and now look, while Mama Kumbi is out there, with her prepared statement and her victim, crying out like she's a victim. Just have a look. Look at this. Look at her response here. My little brother Osman, call me. You are one of those people who does it from the heart, your heart. Let's talk. Call me, my love. All the meeting records. He says all the meetings are recorded. Ask Brother Charles. I personally love your work and I appreciate everything that you do. Call me. We're here to build each other. Ubuntu, one we fall, together we stand. You see what I'm saying? She does all this preaching, draws you in. At this moment, nobody ever said, "Hey, Osman, all of this is 10:58. This is 11 p.m. that I'm here. I'm sitting in my apartment after I've come back from work, after I've dealt with my family issues, with my daughters not being, scrambling to go to after school events. I sit here and I give the board reports. I provide information. And even when I sourced out all the musicians, I provided all of that information to them. They knew about it. She's like, "Oh, send me a contract where we agreed. Here is the contract, Mama Kumbi. Here we go."
To start to discuss who was right and who was wrong, or who said what and who didn't say what. I don't think that is the best way to go, because that will only bring more confusion. So again, I'm just just putting this out there so that we can start to work better together going forward. And it always boils down to, if you ask me to do something, I'm going to jump up and I will do it, because that is who I am. I've never let you guys down. I've always stepped up. I've always, I'm always there. Even if I don't attend meetings, it doesn't mean I'm not working. So, the people who don't attend meetings and the people who don't work, it's a different category, right? So I didn't attend meetings because dealing with issues with my family, dealing with issues with my children. And while that is happening in parallel, I have already, organized the band. I've already done what I was asked to do, and I give reports to the people who asked me to do it. So if I didn't attend meetings, those people that I give reports to should give the reports to the board. I don't know why, it's become a big deal now that Osman did not attend meetings. Then all of the effort that I put into, making things happen it seems to me that it's not appreciated. And that is very painful to me, because I'm not that guy. I'm the guy who came out and I was offering everything for free. I've never asked anyone to pay me, as an artist and as a drummer.
Yeah. So when they came for the fundraiser, they were like, "Hey, we don't have any money. We are doing fundraising. Please help us, brother. We love you. This and that." And that is what I mean. Offering everything for free. That was what I meant. Because nobody in their right senses would take a complete project. So basically, they handed the project to me. This massive project. Whether they got funding or not, maybe they got funding later, and they were like, "Oh, he didn't have a contract. Let's just go ahead and carry on with our things. If he makes any noise, we will threaten him." And that's exactly what they're doing right now.
But when I perform, I do require payment. And as with other artists that I work with, it would be really, really, really unnatural and unfair to ask artists to come up and then not pay them or not give them what they're worth. And even though I know that the money that we're offering them, they can get more elsewhere, but I talked them down to the 600. This is a 5-man band with all of the equipment they're going to bring. There's logistics. These things cost like $2,000, $3,000 for bands to move around. If it's just one person, it's not a problem. But when you ask for a band, you have to have at least $1,000, put down. And if we can't afford it, then let's not stop asking for bands. Let's hang our coats where our hands can reach. So, and I have a lot of respect for everyone in this meeting. And I love you all. I spoke to Mama Kumbi when I was having some problems. And I love you all like my senior sisters, my brothers. So if we have a misunderstanding, or if I'm asked to do something, I will do it based on who asked me. I respect you, Will, which is why I do what you asked me to do. I respect you too, Mama Kumbi, which is why I am doing what you asked me to do. So if we have a board meeting and you call me and say, "Hey, Osman, do this," I'm going to do it. But if we have a consensus, which is the report that I gave during the board meeting, because this is causing a lot of problems. So if we agree on something, let's write it down and let's put it here. Every meeting should have a minute.
So they didn't keep minutes. They would just, cause like I said, it was completely disorganized, and this is when I started to get, the hints that whoa, these people, they seemed a little bit authentic, with Dr. Charles there, with Vuyo. These are really good people. These are not people that you would, they would ask you to do something. So they built trust. They built a lot, but I noticed that if you call this an organization, an illegal organization, you should have meetings. You should have meeting minutes. Mama Kumbi had already mentioned that that we had minutes. That all the meetings were recorded, and I will be 100% available when they release the records of those meetings. So to share with everyone, I mean, I'm releasing all of this online. Why? The only reason I'm doing it is because Mama Kumbi went out there and said that they gave me $4,000 or whatever to run a gig. Let me see, where is the $4,000? You didn't even have money to do anything, and I was offering this is for the fundraiser. You can see it's July 24th, almost exactly 1 month before the main event, and this is how it was going. Just keep listening.
Every meeting, and I noticed that the last meeting that we had, there is no minutes as well. So everything we discussed there was going to be hearsay again. Tomorrow, somebody's going to come up and say, "Oh, I didn't say this," or "You didn't say this," or "I didn't say this." So in order to prevent that, every meeting we must have minutes.
So yeah, I really wonder, why any responsible investor, any responsible, a funder would give an organization that is so disorganized like this, any money to do anything. And this is the reason, because there is no kind of, it's a grant, right? You're giving this grant to do something, but you're trusted. It's not like they don't people don't just walk off the streets and grab grants from people. People look at you and they see that you're responsible. This group appears to be responsible. They're very responsible people. Everyone is up here, and everyone is attending meetings. Dr. Charles is setting up the meetings with his Zoom account, and we're all here. It's called the Nyega Nyega group. Yeah, but it's so unfortunate that they do this to people, and I'm sure not many people have had the opportunity or the intellect or even the know-how to record these things. But you know what? I sent these voice messages because at this point in time, I had already started to think, whoa, these guys are so disorganized. How am I gonna get paid in the end?
Who said what? Who said this? Who said that? And then at the end, we're going to have the agreement of what was discussed. And then after that, we're going to have an assignment of responsibilities. Everyone should have a takeaway, so that the next meeting, people should report on the takeaway. They don't even have to attend meetings. That if somebody is like me, my daughter was having serious problems. I don't need to bring it up here. So, for me not to attend meetings, and the time I was called to attend the meetings, it was practically impossible for me to attend those meetings. It was practically on the meetings that was possible for me to attend. I attended. I need to cover up for the times I did not attend. I did work. I did actually hours and hours of work, which I haven't billed anybody for, and which is why we're here together, because we love each other and we want to make this event successful. I am committed to making this event successful because I have my name in it, and I respect everyone in this meeting. But for us to continue to work together, we have to stop have a decision and then have smaller meetings. There's so many small meetings going on, which should never happen when a lot of people who have their times are very expensive. Everybody's time here is very expensive. So for us to come to a meeting and then agree on something, and then when it's time to implement it, one or two people can say, "Oh, I don't agree," and then everything goes to waste. Because now I'm considering the time that I set aside to do that work. I haven't, the time that I set aside to do that work has not gone for nothing. And I'm not complaining. I have a lot of time for you guys. For any time you call me, I'm available. But let's make sure that that effort that we're putting into this goes to good, no matter what happens. If my brother, goes and does something and brings it back to the board, we have to appreciate it. We have to, consider the time that was put into it, and not just shut the person down, replace everything that person has done with something else. Because next time when you ask that person to do it, they're gonna be like, okay, maybe I should not put in so much effort, because when I do this, sooner or later someone is gonna replace it with something else. If you don't see me for 2 hours, doesn't mean that I haven't put in 10 hours of work to get what you have asked me to do to happen. So to go and find another band, let's just find another band. Let's just find someone else. Or let's find a church choir to replace every work that other people have done. It's really not the best way to do this. So I'm committed. Again, I'm saying it again. I'm committed to making this event successful. And I have I sent an email to Mama Kumbi about when assignment of responsibilities. If I'm working in sound, don't go asking another person to go work in sound. Because then what am I doing?
So yes, and by the way, emails, legal, communication between two parties, can also pass as contracts, because all of these things were discussed. This is going back to the fundraiser. I did their fundraisers, for them. Jack was there as well to help with the fundraiser. So please confirm all of this with Jack. Confirm this Mivule cock up with Mivule and their band manager, and see how they've treated these musicians. And this is exactly how they treat all artists. You just put in effort, and they just come. They're just like, oh no, maybe we should have taken this free people. Why are we paying so much? Look, yes, you asked for bangers, and right there they were like, oh, bring artists, bring a small group of performers, which is exactly what I did. All of the evidence is here. I mean, going online and just the reading of a statement, mixing up all the timelines, misrepresenting, the facts, that everybody was there when it was happening. I mean, my gosh, man, there is something called WhatsApp backup. I've got the entire thing backed up. I mean, going online to lie, about what your son, look at here, you're calling me your son, and your love did for you, is completely amazing. The way that you've done this, Mama Kumbi. I still call you Mama because you know what? Regardless of what you do, you're still my big sister. But and for us to sit over here and bring each other down is not the best way to go. I have used a calm voice. Look at how I spoke to all of you. Look at how I addressed you. Look at how I tried to make your event good, and I made it good. I gave my word, and I made it good. You can go around saying I didn't get a contract or whatever. Yeah, I'm saying it again here. Don't pay me for it. God will reward you for that. But as an artist, if I touch my drum, you are paying me.
It's my responsibility. Should I go ahead or should I stop? Should I let the other guy do it? And the guy that is being called in, I don't know the person. In the last event, one guy just showed up and, appeared to help, but then caused a lot of issues, which I didn't report during the board meeting. I assimilated that because I thought this is a technical matter that doesn't concern anyone. But then he put every effort that I put into doing that last event into jeopardy.
Yeah, this is when, I'm done all the project management, got everything sorted, and then last minute, Mama Kumbi sends this guy. Jack can confirm this. This guy comes up there, messes up all the connections that Jack and I had built, and I had to politely ask him to leave. Yeah, so this is how they helped me. They send someone who knows nothing about anything, one loudmouth guy who just came out and is like, oh, I am the best, I know everything about whatever, and consistently hitting on the people, on the artists that came there to perform. I had to ask him to leave. Yeah.
So we have to make sure that if you ask me to do something, if you want someone else to do it, you have to ask the person to ask me. Like if I ask you to go find a venue, while you're looking for the venue, struggling to find the venue, I go find another venue and go do the event there while you're still looking for a venue. So that is not the right way to do things. So I love you all again. I'm saying this, if my voice is getting big, it doesn't mean I'm angry. I'm not angry. I'm just saying, how can we work better to make things better? No one person in this group should make any decision outside of what we have agreed on in the meeting, because it puts everybody's effort to uselessness. Now, do you understand what I mean? It just puts the person who's been working hard to get things done then feels like, okay, even if I don't succeed, then let me explain to you why I didn't succeed. Then let's talk about it and then continue so that the person doesn't feel deflated. Because once people start to feel deflated, then they don't feel they have to deliver. And that's a dangerous place to be when you're working with a group of people. So that's just what I wanted to say. I'm sorry, maybe it's taking a long time, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands. I haven't called anyone a liar. It's just my perspective of what I understood is what I put out there. And if it was received incorrectly, I'm sorry about that. I apologize. But we need to work better together, okay? I love you all. God bless you all, okay? Thank you.
See that? So this is the bad Osman that's been painted bad. And look at my response to her. When she said, oh, brother, call me, whatever. Look at me coming back to the table. Totally agree. Let's fix and build. I am in the bush. This is when I was out at Shambhala working. And I said to her, once I get back to the city, I will get back to you. This is Nouveau's response.
The conversation that we had was, I told you the guidelines. And you said to me, no, you remember we had that heated argument. You say to me, no, it doesn't matter. I said, no, it matters. Because even there are correspondence. So for us to advertise this and do another, I say to you that was going to be, that wasn't good. And then I said to you, go and ask them if they can do gospel. And then you say to me, oh, they say they can only do one, but it doesn't matter. So I said, no, it matters. And then you said to me, they say it's 600. I don't know anything about 800 and 700. And then you came back and said, oh, they said they can do 700 for, and then I also said 30 minutes, it's too little. And then you said, yeah, because there are many of them and sharing that 600. That was the conversation that we had. So I said to you, can you give me their contact so that I can talk to them? You said, no, you can't give me your contact. So that was the conversation that I had with you, and we never discussed as to what it was, whether a fundraiser or for. I said to you that was a fundraiser because that we discussed. That is a fundraiser. Remember the fundraiser that we were doing on the 23rd didn't go well at all. So, which means we spent money that didn't come back. So, we still need to return the money that we used that wasn't meant for this, for the concert. We still need to return it and also still have the money for tickets for Reality 7. We haven't realized the goal that we were looking for. So hence this event. Of course, in the beginning, this event was supposed to be the Reality 7 who would have been here. But the Reality 7 is not here still because we didn't raise enough funds on the 23rd.
So again, this is another voice of reason. So when we were doing the negotiation, so I'm basically sharing this to be extremely transparent and about this situation. So I am trying to be completely transparent because this organization said that they gave me money to go do events. They didn't give me any money. We did fundraisers that I did for them for free because they didn't have any money, and with the promise that when we do the actual event, I was gonna be paid. This was constantly being promised by Mama Kumbi. Don't worry, we'll get it done. Don't worry, we get it. Vuyo is apparently a voice of reason. Dr. Charles was also another voice of reason who warned all of us and said, look, listen, you guys, you don't have money. Why are we still moving forward with this event? So this is it. So you be the judge.